Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. So I am here to pretty much talk about this vow of a human being right here who trying to whore herself out for the Zionist movement out there. If you know anything about, well, I don't even want to say her name, but Valentina over here, you will realize that she is a grifter. She is somebody who at the beginning was on the right path, and then she found out that in order for her to pretty much make it to the position of power, she will have to sell her soul, get, just become as vile of a human being as possible against Islam. Even that, she went too far, and things did not work out for her. It's not only running on hatred against Muslims, rather you gotta have a good message. I'll give you a tip. You gotta both hate Muslim, okay, but simultaneously have some good ideas for the state that you're running for. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you want to try to gain as much support as you possibly can. All right. And then just make a bunch of empty promises. And then once you get in position of power, then just go ahead and just forget about all the promises that you made. Because this is the pattern that you see when it comes to running for power. All these people, they come on, they have really, really good ideas. Vladimir Putin said this, right? That all the president that he has been through, they all have good ideas until they get in office, until the people with black hats and people with, black suit really comes and tell you how things are really run around here. So that's what she needed to do. But instead, she ran on solely the idea of hating on Muslim, and that is it. All right. And that is it. So this clip right here is pretty much going viral because despite her hatred for Muslim, despite her nonsense, false information that she has about Muslim, Sammy Hamdi here decided to pretty much show her the fact, all right, and show her that you are nobody more than just an ill-informed bigot who hates Muslims for no reason except for, wanting to be in position of power, to pretty much whore yourself out for the highest bidder. That's all it pretty much comes down to. So let's go ahead and listen to this, and I will comment on it as we go. Do keep in mind that I will be pausing every once in a while because I don't want to get plagiarized. And if you like the content, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Let's get it.
That is the purest personification of vile bigotry, racism, and Islamophobia. Why don't you focus on people of all religions
they follow a
who commit
book
heinous
that
crimes?
calls for the murder of Jews, Christians, Hindus, and infidels just because we don't bow down to their stupid rock, Piers Morgan. We don't do that in Christianity. In Christianity, if you want to be an atheist, if you want to worship a cow, if you want to worship a table, you're allowed to do that without getting killed. Because right now in Egypt,
see, this is her flawed in her logic, because the people that she is trying to please, the people she's trying to pretty much whore herself out to, they literally face a wall when they're praying. So criticizing Muslim for facing the Kaaba, saying, oh, they bow down to a rock. Do you not see the flaw in your logic here? And so this is what I'm saying. Like, when you run on hatred, this is how dumb you look in front of the public.
A 30-year-old man is being held in prison because he's about to get murdered by the government of Egypt because he is no longer a Muslim. He is now a Christian.
Piers, it's just not true.
And
Piers, if you don't mind, can I say something here, Piers? Piers, if you don't mind, can I say?
Yes, I'll bring in Sammy Hamdi to respond. Yeah.
Piers, I just want to. So she keeps talking about the idea. She keeps talking about this idea of rapists and the like. Piers, I went to the website of the Office for National Statistics and the Bureau of Justice of the Americans, and here you can see these are all the victims saying who their perpetrators are. And here they say that it's people that they know, it's their family members, it's their friends, it's their acquaintances. Only this small number over here is done by strangers or what she calls grooming gangs. You can see the overwhelming majority are done by those that they know or their relatives. Nobody says this is white Christian sexual epidemic. If you look at the population, she says that they're being taken over. This is the population of Muslims in the UK and in the US. In the US, 1.1%. In the UK, 6%. Tell me, where is the takeover that's taking place here? Piers, when you look at the crimes that are committed against Brits, and I'm a Brit, I'm born and raised here, against our sisters and our daughters and the like, here are the crimes committed by Jimmy Savile and Rolf Harris. Nobody says this is white Christian rape. No one says this is a white Christian problem. Everybody says crime has no faith and it has no race. This was committed by vile individuals and justice should be delivered. Piers, when you look at the Office of National Statistics and you see the number of people incarcerated in the UK, you can see that they are overwhelmingly white. But nobody says that this country has a white criminal problem. No one says that this is a Christian problem. Everybody says this is a criminal problem by vile people because crime has no faith and crime has no race. Piers, when you look at the mass shootings in America that kill students and kill their children, this is the data from the Bureau of Justice in America. This is by white shooters, this is by ethnic minorities. No one says that in America they have a white Christian shooting problem because they know crime has no faith, they know crime has no race, and they know that it is individuals who need to be brought to justice. The reality
well, let me ask you this question, Sami Hamdi. Let me ask you, Sami Hamdi. Sami Hamdi, I understand the point you're making. It doesn't in any way, it doesn't in any way excuse the appalling way that the grooming gang scandal was handled or the failure of our justice system to bring those perpetrators.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, pretty much that little short area right there is what's pretty much going viral. And it makes a lot of sense. Why? Because if you listen to the way she was talking, you will be like, okay, this lady is clearly filled with hate and she understands where the real power lies. And if anybody who pretty much understands that, we can all unanimously agree that these people who try to run for power, in order for them to get a position of power, they have to please these people. They have to, bend down and start, doing unspeakable things to these people in order to get in position of power. I don't want to get too graphic, but truth of the matter is that crime doesn't have any race, crime doesn't have any religion, crime doesn't have any specific ethnic group saying that, oh, these people are far more capable of doing far more horrendous crime than this group. That's not how it works. Because if you see throughout history, every single human being have done horrendous things to other human beings. That's a fact. Africans have done it. White people are currently doing it. Even the state of Israel, let's look at what they're doing right now in Saudi Arabia and all these people. Saudi Arabia, they're also guilty of funding the genocide that's going on in Sudan, so on and so forth. It doesn't matter where you look at it. Truth of the matter is this. Islamophobia is something that is being used to pretty much keep the Americans divided so that the Israelis can continuously do what they're doing in the Middle East, so that way they can constantly blame it on Muslims. That's just how it works. When the thing starts to die down, when Islamophobia starts to die down, they start doing false flag attacks. And then, of course, they got to blame it on the group that they're trying to eliminate. And so she knows that. She knows that in order for me to win, even though she's not going to win, she tried running. I forgot the state that she was running for. And to be quite honest, I don't care about it. But she knows that in order for me to win, I will have to hate these people. Why? No reason. I just have to hate these people. That's all it comes down to. Based off of the stat that Sami Hamdi had just shown us. I mean, you can tell clearly which one is the problem and which one is not a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. Again, if you made it this far, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys up later. Assalamu alaikum.